tell you a little something about white history. Say how they condemn us throughout slavery. They say we were black and very ugly. I lie them a telling of them history. Cause black is beautiful, the whole of them agree. They come out of the mountains and mix up with it. Here we go, my friends, in the black and white history. Yeah, it's black, 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 it's white, white, white. But let we tell the story. Yes, it's black, black, it's white, white. But let we tell the story. May I go tell you a little truth about the black histories. To the people who can hear and those who can see. We're the first to come up with anatomy. To analyze the truth about the way body. We're the first to come up with biology. To analyze the lives in the society. We're the first to come up with Egyptology. To construct the pyramids that you see. We're the first to come up with psychology. To analyze the minds in the vicinity. We're the first to come up with musicology. To put the rhythm on your soul and make it rock steady. Correction, my friends, with the black and white history. Yeah, it's black, 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 it's white, white, white. But let we tell the story. Yes, it's black, 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 it's white, white, white. But let we tell the story. Black and white story in my mind. Oh yeah, say we have to analyze it. Black and white story in my mind, in my mind, in my mind. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Black and white story in my mind. Oh yeah, say we have to analyze it. May I go tell you a little something about white history. Say how they condemn us throughout slavery. They say we were black and very ugly. I lie them, I tell enough of them history. Cause black is beautiful, the whole of them agree. They come out of the mountains and mix up the sea. Here we go, my friends, in the black and white history. Yeah, it's black, 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 it's white, white, white. But let we tell the story. Yes, it's black, 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 it's white, white, white. But let we tell the story. May I go tell you a little truth about the black history. It's to the people who can hear and those who can see. We're the first to come up with anatomy. To analyze the truth about the way body. We're the first to come up with biology. To analyze the life in our society. We're the first to come up with Egyptology. To construct the pyramids that you see. We're the first to come up with psychology. To analyze the minds in that vicinity. We're the first to come up with musicology. To put the rhythm on your soul and make it rock steady. Correction, my friends, in the black and white history. Yeah, it's black, 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 it's white, white, white. But let we tell the story. Yes, it's black, 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 it's white, white, white. But let we tell the story. Black and white story in my mind. Oh yeah, say we have to analyze it.
Yes. Black and white story. It is, family, on Facebook and on Instagram. Yes. It's all about the black and white story. Greetings, one and all. Greetings to the whole family out there. I hope everybody is listening and hearing me. Please, in the beginning, as we, of course, get prepared for Professor James Smalls right here on King Simon Presents. Please share the video. Please share. Please like, because you know what it's all about tomorrow. He's a part of this great and grand vortex that's about to be opened up as they prepare for the big premiere. For more info about tomorrow's world premiere on Saturday, July the 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, go to www.hapi.com to get your front row tickets. Man, let's give them a round of applause. Of course, front row tickets on any and all devices. Get your DVD and digital download after the premiere. So I want all of you to share the video. Remember, big up to everybody that's on Facebook. Big up to everybody that's on YouTube. Facebook at King Simon, and of course on YouTube and all the rest of them. And big y'all, let me give y'all this round of applause too, because y'all, hey, if it wasn't because of y'all, it wouldn't be me. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it. Y'all have been the wind under my feet and my arms and my everything. So of course, it's all about the big premiere, big time. Also, if you want to show monetary love, if you want to show monetary love to our dear beloved, this is how you can show monetary love to Professor. You can show Professor Small some monetary love. Use his Cash App. That's $ Dr. James Smalls, or PayPal. Use email CSMALL, that's C Small 1926 at AOL.com. And if you want to contact him via email for consultation, spiritual consultation, marriage consultation, you can hit him up at AMPONSA3@gmail.com. So that's the information for Baba Smalls. Also, of course, some of my advertisers want to big up, of course, the big thing happening with Professor Dr. Valentine tomorrow. Remember, for more information about Dr. Valentine's next webinar, and which is supposed to be tomorrow, but if it's overflow, he got another one coming up. Log on to www.uksnow.org and join his mailing list. Also contact him, and feel free to contact him at 1-800-847 1291. That's 1-800-847 1291. Big up to him all the time. Also to the family, all you beautiful ladies that may be suffering from any female things and problems, you can contact this website, petalwise.com. That's www.petalwise.com. That's PETALWISE.com. And put this coupon code in. That's right. The coupon code is King2020, and you'll get 10%. You'll save 10% off of all that you purchase. And let them know if you want to do a consultation with them, if you want to get those packages dealing with cysts and fibroids and all that, breast problems, everything, you can contact Dr. McCabe, and you can also do a consultation with her. And like I said, you can get some percentage off with the coupon code King2020. And of course, don't forget, family, you know what I got coming up. Do y'all know what I got coming up? Well, I'm going to tell you what I got coming up. Next on King Simon Presents, Sunday, July the 19th at 9 p.m., we got Professor Zahelia Anderson, Women in Martial Arts. Oh, yeah, she's going to bring the fire and why we need to train, sisters, why y'all need to train. And of course, on Wednesday, July the 22nd, we have at 7 p.m., we have the one, the only Sister Malika Ali, building your immunity, building your immune system. She studied under Dr. Africa. She studied Dr. Sabi. She studied with my aunt. That's why I met her, actually. Dr. Sabi's former wife. And she studied, of course, Moata Ashby, Dr. Moata Ashby, and various other people. But she's going to bring the fire and the heat and why you need to take care of your immune system and why that's so important. Yes. Also, get to remind you, check out my sister if you want to get real estate throughout New York or the tri-state area, or you just want a consultation and a link. Make sure you contact Janelle Lewis at 347-866-1153. That's 347-866-1153. And please tell her King Simon sent you. She's a good friend of mine, and she'd love to hear somebody say, yeah, King Simon sent me, family. That's right. It is now 52 minutes after the hour. 52 minutes after the hour. We got Baba James Smalls coming up at 9 o'clock exactly. Also, those who want to show me some love, I am choosing my my cover, and all you have to do is email me at Numerovation with King Simon at Gmail. That's Numerovation with King Simon at Gmail, all lowercase, of course. I just wanted to bring it out a little more. That's why I put it in capitals. But I'm looking to choose my book cover for Numerovation for Mental Stability. And of course, let me show you the covers right now. These are the covers right now. I'm going to show you the covers right now. And if you can send, this is one of the covers. This is the first cover. This is the first cover. That's the first cover. So that's number one. Number two is this cover. That's number two. And then number three is that cover. Now I was thinking today, if I do this cover, I might try to impose my face in a meditation mode inside this instead of this person's face. But I'm looking at this particular one here. So this is number 3, this is number 2, and this is number 1. Please email me your choice. Don't say 1, 2, and 3 right now in the chat. I don't need it like that. I need to see how many people email me. And of course, again, my email is Numerovation with King Simon. That's Numerovation with King Simon. Write it down real quick. You could your choice should be either 1, 2, or 3. That's 1, 2, or 3. Okay, so number 1 is this one. Number 2 is this one, and number 3 is this. No, number 3 is this one right here. Number 3 is that one. So that's number 3. This is number 2, and this is number 1. So please choose by emailing. If you follow rules, email me Numerovation with King Simon at Gmail, and then we'll make sure we take care of that. Also, you know, this show has a disclaimer. From now on, I'm putting on disclaimer. I don't care if I have a kindergarten child talking about business. I'm putting a disclaimer on. Content disclaimer: the views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcaster and its sponsors. That's right. Parental guidance is advised. You know, man, a lot going on, man. A lot going on. It's 55 minutes before the hour, 5 minutes before the top of the hour, all over the world. There's a lot going on, especially with people that's in our community, like Professor Griff and Nick Cannon and all that. But, you know, when I read their numbers, and I told Griff this, it's also no big thing. I didn't tell Nick, but if they would have consulted me before they did that interview, guess what? I would have told both of them that they were in a number 3 entering a number 4 cycle, and 3 is a number of exposure, sometimes recklessness, sometimes it's communication, and 3 is also that number of scandals. Oh, getting into scandals, and then he's going into a 4, which deals with 3 and 4 are 2 of the communication numbers. You got to be clear in your communication. Like I would have told them to have a real good meeting about what to say and what not to say. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're in between a 3 and a 4 energy, now 3 and 4, now look at that. 3 and 4 is 7. So it's about going back internally and really reflecting on what you need to do before you talk, before you communicate. Since 3 is a communication number, 4 is a weird communication where a lot of things can go on, a lot of problems can happen because it deals with weird and strange things. And you got to be very clear on your text messages, on your emails, when you're in those years. And then because Professor Griff is born August the 1st, and my brother Nick Cannon is born October 8th. Right now, they're in the same frequency energies that Professor Griff will be in his 4 year officially on his birthday at the top of this month, at August, and my brother Nick will be in his frequency of the number 4 officially. But from birthday to birthday research, there's multiple ways of doing this number stuff, but I seen it right there, and I could have pegged it out a long time ago, but I didn't know that Griff was going to do that interview and all that kind of stuff. I didn't know that was going to go down, but I didn't pay attention to all of that because I really don't do all that predictive stuff like I used to and all that. I usually do that with fights and stuff, and I'm very good at the fights, but I tell people, don't text me all that stuff about who you think is going to be on the fight. I said, like, I don't care. The better man win. But I know this person is in a good frequency, so this can happen. So it's all about the balance, especially if there's money behind it. You never know who might be winning or who might be getting paid off to take some dives, because it has happened before. Please, family, please subscribe. Please subscribe today. Click on the link. Please subscribe. Click on and click on the bell to be notified if you want to subscribe. And also, just remember, boom, if you want to get my books, order them now from Amazon and Kindle. Numbers are simple. People are complicated. Numbers are simple. Our children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion, and all publicity is good publicity. Just spell my name right. Remember, family, you can order these books on Amazon and Kindle. And remember, every time you support me, you support Dr. Laila Africa's Legacy, because he is still the publishers of these last 3 books I just showed you. That one, and that one. And in the bottom of this particular video and all link to his classes, to his products, to his Cash App, his PayPal, whatever is on the bottom right here of this particular video also, because that was my Baba. Enough respect to him and his beautiful Empress as she's going through what she's going through. And we love her, and we want to send love and light to our beautiful Empress, Dr. Melanie Stevens. Also, this is the prayer I've been saying. Please, Universal Creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth and your love now. This is a prayer that was founded and created by Dr. Delbert Blair. So we want to show that elder love. And that prayer is a simple, basic prayer, but it speaks to everything that's going on in the world because it's about the protection of the planet and yourself. So say this, you can take a picture of it, whatever you want to do, snapshot it, whatever you want to do. If you're on your phone, take that prayer and say it morning, noon, and night if you have to, But he had advised a lot of his people at the Metta Center to actually say it every Tuesday at 12 noon around the world. So he already had a universal meditation going on back in the day. So big up to Dr. Blair all the time. Big up to enough respect to Dr. Blair all the time. And back to my face before we bring on the Baba. Okay, so Baba's going to be coming on. Remember, the Happy film thing is coming up. So make sure y'all show that love. Go to happyfilm.com. That's happyfilms.com. And let me see. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, good. To pre-order my new book, Numerovation for Mental Stability, the price is only $40.40. That's right, $40.40. And you can do it via paypal.me/the Numerovator. That's paypal.me/the Numerovator. And please include your full name and mailing address in the PayPal notes section if you're ordering. And then I will be mailing them out around the end of August or September. As soon as they come in, they're going out. First 100 will be, actually, the first 100 of them will be signed by me. And then, but I won't put your name on it because it's much more valuable when I transition if I just have my signature and it's not signed to anybody. So I won't put your name on it. I'm just going to sign it. That's what I heard. That's what I heard from some real prestigious authors and in the author world. All right. Also, please, as it's scrolling at the bottom, befriend me on Facebook, IG at King Simon Production, at Twitter at King Simon Prod. Cash at me and show me some Cash App love at $King Simon 3158. That's $King Simon 3158. Or PayPal me at King Simon, paypal.me/King Simon, or paypal.me/the Numerovator. Also, again, as it's scrolling, please like, share, subscribe to King Simon Presents on YouTube. And with Patreon, that's www.patreon.com/King Simon Production, and King Simon Productions on WordPress.com. I put up a lot of content on that. And my newest website, which is still under construction, is still up though, and it's called NumbersAreSimple.com. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. We're waiting for the Baba to come on in. I did send him the link. I hope everything is all right. I did send it to him, and it is what it is. Want to make sure everything is going smoothly. I'm waiting for him to come up. I hope everybody's doing well out there. How y'all doing in the chat? Let me check my chat. Hotep. Let me big up, find out what's going on. Okay, Hotep family, Hotep, peace. Bashara Wilson, what's up, Bashara Wilson? What's up? Happy belated birthday, Bashara. I know your birthday was the 15th of July. How do I remember that? That's just me. Don't worry. I'm weird like that. Also, happy birthday today to Soleil. Today is Soleil's birthday. She's in a #1 personal year. So enough respect to her. I did speak to her. I did text her this morning. I spoke to her and Griff yesterday. So happy birthday to Soleil. And she is doing wonderful in what she does. In a 1-year cycle, I always tell people it's about the me, myself, and I when you're in a 1-year personal cycle. So it's about that constant circulation of who and what you are internally as well as externally. But it's also a new beginning cycle about doing new things, meeting new people, new business, taking your business to another level, or adding on something new to the next business. So when you're in a 1 personal year cycle, and how you find that out, family, you add the month you're born with the day you're born with the year that we are in. You know, if it's from birthday to birthday, then it's from the last year of that birthday to this year, and you officially get into your one personal cycle on your birthday. And if you're going from, some numerologists will go year to year, where you still start feeling the effects of the number one year as 2020 come in. So she's been feeling the effects of it, because I know earlier this year she released something and she's been releasing some new products. So she's been feeling, but she is officially, Soleil, the dear one, the dear wife of Professor Griff, is officially in her number one cycle. So that's a beautiful thing. Happy birthday, happy solar return. Okay, I see Baba coming in. I see Professor Smalls coming in. I got to make sure we big him up appropriately. Okay, let me make sure everything is right with my side. I see him. And we're getting ready to bring on the Baba momentarily as we do what we got to do. But I gotta read the mission statement of Hapi Film first, because he's a part of this great thing that's happening with Hapi and the big premiere that's happening. So before we bring him on with a well-deserved round of applause, let me find that. Don't forget, this is all about tomorrow's world premiere on Saturday, July the 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to www.hopifilm.com to get your front row tickets on any and all devices. And remember, the DVD and the digital download, will be available after the premiere. But remember the mission. If you go to their website, it says the Hapi mission is to show how local initiatives, strong communities, and creativity can start a movement that can ultimately change our energetic, economic, and democratic system. First, we must find new paths leading to common prosperity and resilience. And the Happy Film does not claim to have all the answers. However, it showcases people inventing and trying to start the movement. We hope these stories will empower you and drive your passion to affect change in your job, community, and neighborhood, essentially giving purpose and meaning to all actions. Below lists are some of the topics we will explore in the future details in this feature. So please, I want all of us to welcome, right here on King Simon Presents, one of the Babas who's been doing his work for over 50 years. He's bodyguard Malcolm's sister. He's been the imam over Malcolm's mosque after he transitioned. He's been doing a historian's work. He's been working with Professor Small. He's been working with Professor Dr. Ben, Professor Jeffries. He's worked with all of the great and knows all the great of his time. I want you all to welcome the one, the only Baba James Smalls, right here on King Simon Presents. Here we go, Baba. I'm coming to you right now. Let me get it in. All right. There's my Baba. What's up, Baba Smalls? How you doing, sir?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. So we ready to talk about Happy, right? We're going to talk about...
Yes, sir.
So you're the leader.
How you feeling today?
I'm good, Baba. I'm good. You know,
that's good. How's the family? The family's good.
Everybody's good. We're just trying to survive whatever the Europeans put out here and call covert. So
that's what it's called. Covert.
Notice what they call it too. Covert.
It's covert.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Baba, thank you once again for being on the platform. You never fail to help me out and bring guidance, man. So I love and respect you for it. And I commend you for doing what you do all the time. I've been seeing you doing all these different interviews, especially promoting what's about to happen. And, your history, everybody should know already. But, you're just a person from out of down south that came into the struggle at a young age, brother. And you still doing what you got to do. And we got to see that respect. Even I remember you when you had the locks back in the day. So I remember from those days.
It's hard to imagine. What was that? 40-something years ago.
Wow. Ain't that something? Well, tomorrow is the premiere, Baba. Tomorrow is the premiere of a great documentary, one of many that you've been a part of course. But there's something significant about this particular one because it deals with the economic development. It deals with like what they say in Kujichagulia, like in the in Nguzu Saba. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes, sir.
so let me ask you, sir, why was it so significant to do such a timely documentary that's about to come out and premiere tomorrow at this time? Why was it so important?
Well, right now, let's say if this COVID was to end tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and all police brutality stop, and the police actually have a love affair with our community, our condition won't change.
Mm.
Because the primary purpose for our condition is our economic deprivation and our economic inability to take care of ourselves.
Mm.
You know, all human beings must be able to provide for themselves and their family food, clothing, shelter, and safety. In order to do that, you got to control the economics where you live. So if everything else changed tonight, white folks said, we love all the black people. We ain't going to hurt you no more. The police said, look, we got it. We're going to be real police and dispense justice. God takes the COVID away. We are still going to the stores in our community that is predominantly owned by whites, by Jewish, by Irish, by Italians, by Arabs, by Chinese, by Koreans, by Indians, and others. And there's nothing wrong with these people having businesses. God bless them. They should provide for themselves food, clothing, shelter, and safety. But that's not my obligation to provide that for them. That's their obligation. My obligation is to provide it for me and my family and my community. All of those ethnic names I just called that control predominantly the wholesale and retail businesses in the Black community across the span of America takes that money at the end of the day, like Malcolm X says, to another part of town where they live.
Mm-hmm.
And they invest that money in that community, not in my community. Mm-hmm. So I'm working hard as civil servants, as service workers. We're working because we made $1 trillion a year plus for the last 7 years, and billions a year before that, for decades. And what we do, we come back into our community and hand it to these other ethnic groups and says, now go build your community. Mm. You see? Yes. Go own the land in your community. Go and use that wealth to control the politics in your community. Go and use your political power and your economic power to build the cultural base in your community to educate and train your children so they will be successful in the world. That's where our money is going now. Mm-hmm. So this discussion is how do we build the economic foundation in the Black community with the legitimate money, that legitimate $1 trillion plus that we've been spending with these other communities for the last few years. I don't care what excuse the Black community have. It is no excuse.
Right. Not
when most of our young men, not most of them, but among our young people, we have a 20+% unemployment. Yes. And among our male, we have a 15 to 16% unemployment across the country. Mm-hmm. So how are they going to be able to take care of families? And so the alternative is to get involved in crime to make money. And in our community, other ethnic groups control the drug trade, and those other ethnic groups make that drug available for our unemployable group, mm-hmm. so that they end up preying on us to make money. And most of that money go back to the same community that gave them the poison in the first place.
Yes.
And then we are caught up in a system called the criminal justice system. It doesn't call the people justice system. It
Right.
isn't the justice system. It's the criminal justice system.
Yes, sir.
And what that criminal justice system does is take the unemployable, poorly trained Black youth, then I'll come back to the school in a minute, put them in the penal system, psychologically and spiritually and emotionally cripple them through sexual terror, rape, molestation, and abuse, and the other tyrannies that go on in the prison system, and then send these very crippled, injured, hurt, painful, angry young people back in our community to recidivate after harming the community again back into the prison system. We can't do anything about it because we don't have no business to give them a job. And they can't get jobs with the other people because they got a felony.
Right.
And because of the felony, in many states, they've been taken off of the voters' roll, so they can't vote. You're talking about millions of people.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Many of them can't go to college because they don't qualify for the loan programs because of the felony. But it all started because we couldn't give our children jobs when they were in high school and when they got out of school. And because we don't control the economics, the politics, and the culture where we live, we can't control the education process where we live. And because we can't control the education process where we live, our enemies are in there teaching our children their curricula, their value system, and don't take any responsibility for the faulty product after 12 to 13 years. That they dump back in the community who can barely read or write, can hardly do any kind of math, don't have any vocational training, many of them. We could solve that problem if we control the economic where we live, because we would be the employer of first choice.
Yes.
You understand? And if we control the economics, politics where we live, we can determine the curriculums in the school and who would be the principals and how that school would be run. And we could come up with a product that can become neighborhood builders and community builders and family builders. And not psychologically injured and damaged and hurt human beings that is embittered and hateful towards everybody around them because they see everybody around them as their abusers and their enemy. Yes. And understandably so, because we are. Because we did not take the responsibility to see to their welfare by building an economic infrastructure that will attend to their needs. And so Hapi is trying to address this, starting metaphorically, looking at the Nile River, so-called, which the ancient Africans call the Hapi River.
Hapi River, yes.
And looking at what that river did to create the economic foundation that produced the civilization called ancient Kemet that lasted for tens of thousands of years.
Yes, sir.
For we were set upon by war, barbaric tribes from the north and the northeast. Okay. And so when we understand history, we can erase the enemy's mystery.
Yes, sir.
And begin to design a socialization process. And Dr. Jeffries told us socialization processes is how you give your people their values, then their interests, and their principles. But in order to be in charge of the socialization of your children, you've got to be able to give employment to them. You've got to be able to control the school and the curricula they go and attend. You've got to be able to determine the nature of policing in your community. If you have an economic base, if you have community wealth, you can determine police behavior. Because if you have community wealth, you can determine who gets elected to city hall. You can determine who gets elected to school boards. You can determine who gets elected to community boards. You understand? But if you don't have any wealth, the most you can play in that part is voting. And you can't even determine who's available to vote for.
Right.
Because you don't have the wealth to back the people you would like to back, to run for those offices, to serve you and your community and family's interests.
Right.
And so when we think of the Hapi River, here's this river flowing from Southern Africa up north. It's the only river that flows from the south to the north. It's one of the longest rivers in the world. And it's flowing from south to the north, and it's bringing all of this fertile soil, you know, the rutted weed and trees and bushes and animals, and it's bringing this black Mecca, this black gold, and is spreading it on the shores of the desert, allowing it to grow wheat, barley, olives, all sorts of vegetables, chickpea, allowing them to have all this fish that is a protein source that they can give to the other parts of the world who don't have fish for a protein source.
Right.
Allowing them to sell their wheat and their barley and their corn to the rest of the world who can't plant this because of their desert environment.
Right.
And in return, we get other kinds of raw materials in order to build our homes, our temples, our universities. And in doing this, having this enormous agriculture, we develop geometry to measure the land that determine whose plot is what and what crop grows where. So in that process of measurement, we develop geometry.
Yes.
In order to understand when to plant, we had to study the movement of the stars, the movement of the sun, the movement of the moon. We know that on this occasion, when the moon is in this place and the sun is rising in this manner and the constellations is in this location, we can expect the flood to come. And we know when they're in other location, we can expect the water to recede. So we know what season to plant. And then we begin to learn what crop to plant in what season from the study of nature, because now this wealth possibility that's brought about by Hapi's presence has given us all of these other opportunities to build families, to build villages, to build towns, to build neighborhoods, to build communities, to build kingdoms, and then to build civilizations. I mean, am I making it simple enough, plain enough?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This river did that. So the question is, where do we find the Hapi River in Detroit? Where do we find the Hapi River in LA? Where do we find the Hapi River in Chicago or Charlotte or Wilmington or Atlanta or Brooklyn? Remember, the river is a metaphor. What happened along the Hapi River is a historical fact. All right? But we're now using that historical experience metaphorically in order to understand how to replicate that now. And remember, the Hapi River came into being because it had sources. Some of the water came from the Blue Nile in Ethiopia and the Great Esfit Falls. Some of the water came from the White Nile in Uganda. Some of the water in Mount Rwenzori. Some of the water came from the ice melting in Kenya, Tanzania, and Kilimanjaro. Some of the water came as far away from Lake Nyanza, up above Malawi and next to Congo. You understand? So all of these sources or these tributaries or these threads that created the Hapi River, what are those threads today that will create our Hapi River? And I'm going to try to name some of them. Real estate ownership is one of those threads.
Yes, sir.
Retail business ownership is one of those threads. Wholesale business ownership is one of those threads. Controlling education so you can create the vocational training for your community so we can teach our youth how to be auto mechanics, transmission specialists, electricians, carpenters, and plumbers. All of those things are needed in every household in the community every day. Those are the sources that creates the Hapi River of today.
Yes, sir.
You see?
Mm-hmm.
Then there are other tributaries, the tax revenue that we make. Because a lot of African Americans in the major city, we are civil service workers, the post office, some of us in police department. We're working for City Hall, the Parks Department. That's where our money is coming from, the correctional facilities. That's another stream that's feeding the Hapi River.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So when the tax revenue comes back to our community, do we have the economic power to determine how that money gets distributed? Right now, the other people who have the economic power in our community is determining how tax revenue gets distributed.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't go to build our daycare center or our nursing homes or the things we think we should have in the community as an infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of others tributary flows that will build the Hapi River is the Black Church, the Masonic Lodge, the sororities, and the fraternities. If they would use the skills that that economic class represent in our community to help build a Hapi River, then we can build the economic foundation that will allow us to control land, labor, and resources where we live by getting control of economic, politics, and culture where we live. You see?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then we come back to the Black banks and the Black credit unions. They're also tributaries that are contributing to that Hapi River in Detroit, in New York, in Chicago. So if we can look at the metaphor of how those rivers in Southern Africa and the ice from those mountains in Central Africa fed that river, let's look at all those elements I just talked about as being tributaries that will feed the new Hapi River.
That's right.
And so that's, to me, some of the ideas that this film is trying to help identify and bring forward to us. Now, this last piece, and this is on the education piece, because if you can't control the education of your children, you can't control the socialization of your children, and they'll end up in the street doing drive-bys like we're seeing all over the country.
Yes, sir.
And it didn't just start last week. They're just making a hoopla about it now. This has been going on for decades. We've been trying to fight against it for decades, but you can't fight it unless you take control of the educational system and determine what kind of character walks out of that school at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And our churches come in a big way, in our mosques.
Yes, sir.
And that they own buildings, thousands and thousands of them all over this country. That after the Friday prayer and the Sunday service, pretty much they sit dormant all week. Why can't all of those facilities be used for after-school programs to teach the math and the science and the technology our children are not getting in the public school, while developing the economic foundation with the help of our Hapi to take over the public school so we can do it there where it should be done, you see? And in our households, every household in the African-American community should set aside 2 hours to teach the history and the culture of our ancestors to our children, and 2 hours to teach them math and science and reading. That's 4 hours a week, which is nothing, you see.
Yes,
our children know more about the baseball player and the basketball player and their girlfriends and their wife and their mama baby this and who they used to go with and what their stats are. But we don't even know what it takes to learn how to get somebody on the ballot to run for political office for city council in our community. We don't know how to fill out a form to get in college and get financial aid. You understand? So there needs to be a new perspective on the socialization by the education of our children and by developing an economic foundation, which Hapi would help us to do, the new Hapi,
Yes,
that
sir.
represents all those elements I just named flowing through the Black community, then we will be able to take control of where we live and build real communities.
Mm-hmm.
And when those communities unite, that's a world nation.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
Hapi is trying to inform us on some of the methodologies and some of the analysis to understand it, and some of the methodologies to put these things in place.
You know, those that are just tuning in, we have Baba James Smalls, Professor James Smalls. And if you want to show him some monetary love, please, Professor Smalls, some monetary love, go to his Cash App. That's $ Dr. James Smalls. That's $ Dr. James Smalls. PayPal, you can use the email csmalls1926 at AOL. That's csmalls1926 at AOL. And if you want to contact him via email for consultation, amponsa3@gmail.com. How you pronounce that, sir? How you pronounce that?
Ampansa.
Ampansa. Ampansa.
Happens to be my stool name.
Good. Ampansa number 3. Now, before we move on, you know, all what you said is wonderful as far as theory. I say that why? Because our people now in this day and time is sick. What Boyce Watkins will say that we have a financial venereal disease.
Yeah,
that's what Boyce was saying in his book. Now, this is mentally. It starts with what's got mentally, and we've lost a lot of that mental guidance and that to take us to where we got to go to support one another. How do Hapi and all of us today help contribute to gearing our people to mentally think like that before they physically can do it?
Right. Well, Hapi, you know, is an educational modem.
Yes, sir.
It's giving us a historical perspective on how people built economies and how we can build economics at the most local level. But it's also trying to show us what happens when you don't do this. You see, you're not going to stop gun violence unless you take control of the socialization of your children. And you're not going to take control of the socialization of your children unless you stop spending your money with the people who's going to take it at the end of the day to another part of town and use it to create wealth to socialize their children. And that means we have to develop new Black businesses on a daily basis, and we have to support the Black business that are there. And let's make no bones about it. There are millions of Black businesses in this country. That's not enough.
Right.
Because we have 50 million people.
Right.
Everyone else is coming to our community and getting wealth. Our community is the Hapi River for the Arab community, the Italian community, the Jewish community, the Irish community, the Chinese community, the Korean community, the Indian community. Our communities are the Hapi River.
Yes.
And so until we understand that the only way you're going to build families, the reason why we have so many single parent homes is because we don't have an economic foundation that allow people to support even a marriage and all that comes with it. Or family, even if you say, well, I don't believe in marriage. Okay, families and all that comes with it. If you don't have a way to ensure that I can find work that's meaningful with an income so I can provide food, clothing, shelter, safety, how am I going to sustain a relationship with another being to produce a household that can create a healthy unit called a family, to build a neighborhood that owns its resources so it can become a community that can take care of itself? And a big part of this, Hapi is talking about history, because history, Dr. Nobles said, history erases the mystery.
Yes, sir.
We've got a whole bunch of mystery clouding us up. How do you rationalize a working class or poor black person, or even a middle class or upper class black person, walking past the black-owned beauty shop and walking into a beauty shop of another ethnic group that wouldn't urinate on you if you were on fire, and sitting there happily getting your nails and hair done.
That's right.
How do you rationalize it psychologically? You can't rationalize it unless you're just going to lie to yourself completely. How do you rationalize passing that black little grocery store and going to another ethnic group grocery store who don't share your culture, don't live in your neighborhood, and will take the money you give them and invest it in another neighborhood to protect themselves? How do you rationalize going by saying, well, the brother charged a little too much money. Oh, his place don't look nice enough. Well, where's your child getting employment? If you don't build up the black businesses, these other people are not hiring our children. They're not hiring us. And those of us who do work in the system, like I said, we're 50 million strong, and that's why we made $1 trillion. But we've got a couple of people in trouble. And the few millions that are in trouble because the few million who have money have not put in place the infrastructure that will keep these others from being in trouble. And those that are in trouble is preying on the rest of us who think we're not in trouble. And then we pack our bags and move into the enemy's community while we're complaining about racism and discrimination against us for going and moving into somebody else's cultural and economic space and talking about, I got a right to own a home. Nobody in the world acts in that silly way. Except people suffering from post-slavery trauma syndrome. And the movie Hapi, the film Hapi, is going to go at least a few steps through information from very professional people to add to curing post-slavery trauma syndrome. Where we can see and rationalize why we can go into our enemies' retail facilities, but can't rationalize going into the facility owned by our brothers and sisters. One of my babies called, and she's 40-something now, lives in Virginia, just to tell me proudly today, and I said, sent me a list of all the black stores she shopped with around the country. She lives in Hampton. So she said, Daddy, I can't get a lot of things in Hampton. There's a limited amount of black stores, but I went online and I found I can get my soap here. I can get my women hygiene products here, and I can get it by mail from different black companies around the country.
That's right.
It's that kind of mentality. Because you don't find other ethnic groups shopping with us for anything. They're in our community smiling and grinning because we're giving them the green that they can get in a car at the end of the day and take home to their community, build safe homes, safe communities, control the educational system where they live, make sure their family is taken care of, and get on to college and develop themselves in other kinds of ways. You can't do any of this unless you control the economic, politics, and culture where you live. And it starts with controlling the economic. But to get to controlling the economics, you got to control the mind so it'll move the behind in that direction. And to get to control the mind, you must learn the history of your ancestors. You must see their successes and their failures. Black Wall Street in Tulsa wasn't the only example of us developing wealthy communities. We had Rosewood in Florida, they burnt it down. We had Wilmington in North Carolina, they burnt it down. We had Raleigh, they didn't burn it down. Raleigh still have the oldest black insurance company and the biggest black insurance company in this country. After the Civil War in 1865, between that point and 1929, Africans stepping out of slavery when they still had their own minds, built in that short period of time, they built over 75 insurance companies and 57 banks. and over 1,000 credit unions and nearly 2,000 schools. And that short a period of time just stepping out of slavery because they still had their mind.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You see? After the stock market crashed in 29, white folks started making an adjustment to destroy Black economic power. They weren't successful with it.
Right.
Until that coup d'etat against the Black desegregation movement, when our so-called liberal Northern right allies stepped in and said, oh, we coming to help you. And they flipped it from a civil rights movement to an integration movement where we abandoned Black economic enterprises,
right,
to become supporters of white and other ethnic enterprises, thinking we were amalgamating with people who would share the wealth with us and amalgamate with us. And that didn't happen.
Right.
All that happened was the abandonment of the Black economic structure and the building of the white and other ethnics economic structure. So we have to realize that was a mistake. We made a mistake. We got destroyed in that deal.
Right. Like Dr. King said, we integrated into a burning house, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Dr. King also said, since you raised his name,
yes, sir,
one of the beautiful prophets, in his last speech, he said, take that speech he made the night before he died. People are just reading the last line. See, the enemy know how to dramatize things and make you only look at the drama.
That's right.
I've seen the glory of the coming of the land. I've seen the promised land. I won't get there with you, but you will get there someday. We get hung up on that little dramatic rhythm and don't read the rest of the speech. Where he tell us to take our money out of the white banks, put it in Black banks. Take our money out of the white banks and put it in Black credit unions. That's in that same speech. They tell us to boycott Coca-Cola and Wonder Bread and other big corporations that's not supporting your community. That's in the same speech.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You know, sounds like Black nationalism to me.
Exactly.
Chinese nationalism. You go to Chinatown, that's Chinese nationalism. And there are Chinatowns all over America, in LA and DC and New York, and you better not go up in there trying to be or do anything other than what the Chinese community will allow.
Exactly. Exactly.
And you certainly aren't going to put any businesses in those communities.
Yes, sir.
Now we got Korean towns in LA and Frisco and Vegas, and they do not feel any shame about it, and they shouldn't. And nobody complains that you can pass a place that's called Koreatown or Vietnam Town. Matter of fact, we are proud to say, wow, but talk about building a Black town. Talk about building Africa Town. Claude Anderson tried to build Africa Town in Detroit, and he tried to build an Africa Town in Chicago, and he was attacked by Black people who went to Chinatown every day and shopped. Had no problem with it.
You know, it's interesting, Baba. This young lady just put up, I had a shoe store in Garden State Mall, and Black women just walked right by every day and never purchased. Debbie, hi. Big up to you. Keep on doing it, Debbie. Don't go online. Do what you got to do. You need your mentality to stay on there.
Keep fighting and reach to the young.
Keep fighting.
But see, we could change that mentality. Let me tell you something.
Yes, sir.
90% of our people go to church. If Reverend Hoop and Holler would become a minister instead of Reverend Hoop and Holler and give correct instructions, all those people would come to Debbie's store if he told them to go there.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, they would. Yes, they would. And so let's be real about what's really going on in our community. Those who are controlling the socialization of our people, the teachers, the ministers, the doctors, the boule element, all of them aren't bad. Okay.
Right.
But the critical leadership are traitors. They're not Madam C.J. Walker. They're not Maggie Walker, you know, who owned the big bank down in Richmond, Virginia during the Depression when everything else folded. That Black woman and her bank kept going. They're not the brother that owned the big department store out in Chicago during the Depression. These people think partnering with white America means abandoning Black America. You understand? Partnering with White America means abandoning Black America. So many of our spiritual leaders have become, what's that thing? When you're in the movie and you're celebrities, parading across stages on TV, flying around in their Lear jets, driving their Bentleys, and living in these exclusive multi-million-dollar homes.
Mm-hmm.
If this was back in the days of Martin Luther and them, they'd probably burn all that stuff down. I ain't suggesting nothing like that now. I'm trying to make a point.
Right, exactly.
Okay? I would never burn anything down.
Right.
You know? But I'm making a point that the place where people go once a week, Friday in the mosque, for that 10% that goes there, Sunday and Saturday in the church, where the 90% go.
Yes, sir.
If they were given the instructions to build communities, and by building communities is shopping with your kind.
Yes, sir.
With the agreement that you're going to reinvest in this community, who's shopping with you? We turned this thing around in a year.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And so that Hapi is trying to suggest that most of these social problems we're having can be solved by us if we got control of the economics, particularly the politics and the culture where we live.
Right.
And you can't do one without the other. Dr. Jeffries had taught me that economics is harvesting the wealth in the environment or ecology you live in. Okay. Politics is the management system you put in place to manage and protect that wealth. And culture is the ethical, moral guidance and imperative that gives the impetus for how your politics work.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so Hapi is trying to look at all of that and try to really dramatize it. It's one of the most cinematically beautiful pieces I have ever seen. Okay?
Yes. Yes.
And I'm out here doing videos and working with videographers and others for 55 years.
Yes, sir.
You know, and for the last 4 years, I've been working with ABC, Disney, and Epic on a big production called The Godfather of Harlem as a prime consultant, having to fight those people every day because they don't have a clue about Black folks. Don't have a clue about Black folks.
That's right.
So I know it comes down to economics.
Yes.
If you can't own the real estate where you live,
right,
and the retail where you live, and the wholesale where you live, you'll never be able to raise families, you'll never protect your children, and you'll never be able to keep the majority of your people in a marital family kind of situation. I don't care whether you want to have polygamy, I don't care what kind of marriage you have. You still have to support that institution with food, clothing, shelter, safety, and security. And in order to do that, Hapi is saying, look, we did it thousands of years ago, and it lasted for tens of thousands of years. Now, here is some of the tools that we use.
Yes, sir.
Here are some of the principles that we use. Here are some of the ideas that we implemented.
Yes.
And let's now show you how to define, as I was telling you earlier, and for people who came on a little later,
yes,
I was saying Hapi is a river in Africa. Some call it the Nile. That river brought the fertile soil from the southern part of Africa and deposited in the northern side of Africa, allowing for the people of Kemet to develop barley, wheat, linen, a fishing industry like nothing you know, creating geometry in order to measure the farmlands, learning about the stars, about astronomy, so that they can understand when to plant and when to plant what. And then creating astronomy to explain, creating astrology, to explain astronomy to the masses who didn't have time to do that study, and on and on. It means then that we can build homes, and we can build villages, and we can build towns, and we can build cities. And now the cities need some carpenters, and the cities need some brick masons, and the city needs some doctors and healers, and the city needs some schools, and the city needs some teachers. All of that came because Hapi brought them an economic stream on which to build an economic foundation that allowed them to build a civilization.
Yes.
And what I was telling Brother Simon, brothers and sisters, is that our Hapi River is produced from certain streams, just like the Hapi in Africa.
Yes, sir.
From Ethiopia and Uganda and Congo and Nyanza and Mount Kilimanjaro and Mount Rwenzori and the Isthmus Fall, and they all converge to build that economic phenomena that Hapi produced. That we have those same kinds of tributaries now.
Yes, sir.
But those tributaries is called our tax revenue. You see, those tributaries is called our school system being properly run. Those tributary is called setting up vocational schools to train us how to be carpenters, electrician. Every household need an electrician.
Yes.
Every household need a carpenter. Every household need a painter. Every household needs someone who can repair their car or their transmission. And why aren't we training our young people in this? So they're not unemployed in the street shooting each other by night, selling drugs to survive economically. And so if all of these streams, with the church being a part of that stream, and the mosque being a part of that stream, and the Hebrew temples being a part of that stream, coming together and say, wait a minute, let us open our doors so we can have after schools for our children to teach science and math and history, so they walk out the door with self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, and nobody can crack their consciousness. Right. They come back home healthy. But let's get control of the real estate. Let's pool our money. Let's support the Black banks. Let's support the Black credit unions. All of these are streams that's going to make up the new Hapi River. Right,
but Baba, before you go on, I want to stress something, because you were the consultant of The Godfather of Harlem, and it was a great series, great movie, because it wasn't, like you told me before. What about the underground element in organizations? Why don't they talk? Why don't we get to their mind to talk to some of these pastors and ministers? Because that's what the mafiosos do. They got connections and have teamsters and everything else.
You just said it. We got to use, like Malcolm said, any means
necessary. Yes,
to have this conversation.
Yes,
I remember the Prince Hall Grand Lodge here in New York, Cornerstone 37, up on 155th Street. And a lot of brothers have gotten on me about being a Mason. I'm not a Mason. I'm a Prince Hall Mason. Learn the history of Prince Hall.
Yes.
Learn the works that those brothers did, from Richard Allen to David Walker to Booker T. Washington to W. Du Bois to Paul Robeson to Martin Luther King. Even Shaq is a member of the lodge.
Right.
Okay. But yes, the lodge, like many of our other institutions, have fallen down. Let's build it back up.
Right.
Let's make it what our ancestors designed it to be. And let's use that tool to help organize and socialize and do the rites of passages for our young men and women, and the Eastern Stars and the Daughters of Ruth and the Daughters of Isis, which is a part of those societies of secrets as well, and still exists today all around you, and you just don't know it.
Right.
But we're leaving it to the few who have been misleading it. And I said, take it back. Take it back. And let it mean what Prince Hall and the Free African Lodge intended it to mean.
Yes.
And let it do what they intended it to do. That's just one institution. But the institution of church, the institution of mosque, we need to have a different approach. Just condemning them have not worked. Because that's where people go to be primarily socialized spiritually. They ain't going to all become a Yoruba priest tomorrow. Okay, I've been in the Yoruba thing for 50 years, and I can count my godchildren on my two hands,
Exactly.
So let's be real. Yes, we are African. That's our race. That's our genetic cluster. Yes, we are African. That's our mother, fatherland. Yes, we are African. That's our culture with the most magnificent history in the world. But until we learn how it worked then, systematically and principally and psychologically, we won't know how to use those principles today. You understand?
Yes, sir.
History erases the mystery and allow you to work your magic or your miracles.
Yes, sir. You know,
we're calling our miracles magic for centuries. So,
that's right.
So go tomorrow. Go to when we go to Hapi Films.
Speaking with Baba James Small.
Buy your
I think
ticket.
he froze on his.
Buy your ticket. Watch this piece. Just the cinematography is going to blow you away. We have temples in here people have never seen. We have tombs people have never seen. We have pyramids most of you never heard of. Brother Taki has taken us through Kemet, down into the Sudan, into Nubia. We off with me all up in Ghana, you understand, at the Nile River, at the slave dungeons, trying to use these things to explain, and let's stop the fighting. We need the Moorish brothers, and sisters, the Hebrew brothers and sisters, the Christian brothers and sisters, the Yoruba brothers and sisters, the Akan brothers and sisters, to bring their spiritual behinds together, because these are our children getting killed in the streets. Our children.
Right.
So unless we understand how to recreate the economic, politics, and culture that would allow for us to provide the food, clothing, shelter, and safety for our community, then nothing is going to change. COVID can go away. Police can fall in love with you. You'll still be a 21st century slave begging at the feet of some other ethnic group who's laughing at you all the way to the bank.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, Baba, thank you very much. I don't want to keep you too long because I know tomorrow's about the premiere, and then I know there's going to be a panel discussion after the premiere. People, tomorrow, July the 18th, world premiere at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get your front row tickets on any and all devices, but they would rather you sit around as a family and take this in. Remember, go to happyfilms.com, happyfilm.com, and get your front row seat. If you got to be at work, you can see it. If you got to be in front of your phone, you can see it. If you got to be at your job, you're going to be in a restaurant, you can see it. You can put it on the big screen on anything. Make sure you get Roku and all that. And you can do all of that. Put your stuff. And remember, the digital download and DVD will be sold after the premiere. You want to have it in your collection because that's a very important thing to have, because it's all about information.
It is one of the most cinematically beautiful things I have ever seen done on Kemet. They've outdone the History Channel. They've outdone PBS. They've outdone all of them. Brother Robert is killing it with that camera. You hear me?
Yes, sir. Robert C. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And so when you see Taki's directive mind and producing mind, it just blows you away.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you know?
Yes, sir.
So one time I used to beat up on him so bad, he'd be scared to call me. So, Papa, but I love him. I want Taki to know I love you. You've got a brilliant mind. Brother Rock, who's been involved with him from the beginning. King, Simon, who's been involved with it from the beginning. Sister Felicia.
Yes.
You know, this is an extraordinary contribution to helping to recreate the African mind around the need to develop the economic foundation that undergirds the survival of the Black community. If we don't do it, nothing will change. And our situation now is not tolerable for people as great as we are, with a history as extraordinarily great as ours is. So let's take back the Black community by taking that $1 trillion we're giving away to these other people as Christmas gift and reinvesting it in ourselves. You know, people say, oh, they're gentrifying my community. And I go, but that house sat there for 20 years empty and nobody bought it. So some outsider come and buy it and you say it's gentrified. No, you gentrified your own community because you had the capital, you had the wealth, but you didn't have the vision. And you didn't have the vision because you didn't know enough about your history to give you the vision. And let me end my piece with this.
Yes,
Brother Asa Hilliard translated a piece of a writing of Amen Hotep from ancient Kemet back in the day. And it's a treaty he wrote on freedom. I set it aside to read the whole thing, but I can't see it now, so I don't have to read it.
Right.
But the last line was was enough.
Right.
And the last line, he said, freedom is being bind. Freedom is being bind to your identity, its goals and its purpose.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Economic, politics, and culture. Let's build the new Hapi River stream in Detroit. Let's build a new Hapi River in Chicago, in Charlotte, in Miami, in Brooklyn, in LA, in Frisco. And we can, because we got the wealth.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
And this film will show you how our ancestors did it. And you'll have the best psychologist, Dr. Wade Nobles, historian, Dr. Jeffries, economist Boyce Watkins, Cometian, Brother Infadishi, Brother Jabari, Baba Haru, and others that would just name some of the others that's going to be there.
It's Dr. Salaj Ashby, Boyce Watkins, Dr. Julia Malvo, of course, Wade Nobles, Raketi Amen, of course, Rosalind Jeffrey,
Sister Ros. These are the people representing all of the disciplines that it takes to reconstruct the society. We'll be using the best of our minds to try to show you how the ancestors did it, what was the fruits of their victories, and how we can do it again.
That's right.
How we can do it again.
That's right. Well, Baba, you know, I want to make sure everybody show you some Cash App love, monetary love. Go to his Cash App, please, because he has a hotel, he has a family, he has all of that going on, him and his partners in business. His beautiful empress, his beautiful wife was with you for what, 50 years now, 45 years?
50
years, man. Some of us can't stay with our wife for 50 minutes. You talking about 50 years? You did a great
job. When to fight and when not to fight. Walk out the door, and sit on the porch.
Exactly. Remember, his Cash App is $ Dr. James Smalls.
Right.
That's $ Dr. James.
An economic venture in Ghana with other brothers and sisters, and we're trying to raise funds now just to paint the exterior again, so we can look attractive enough to attract business. And we're trying to make that economic linkage between Africa and African America and the Caribbean. It's called the Sun Our Lives. It's a beautiful place, and it is an example of many of the people you'll see tomorrow has invested in that. So we're not just talking the talk. We've been walking the walk with our projects for a decade and a half.
That's right. That's right. And also your PayPal is still csmalls1926 at AOL, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So, and you can contact him via email.
The greatest contribution you can give, go to happyfilm.com. Get that ticket for tomorrow. I got my sons and their children coming over to my house. We're going to be all over the living room. I'm going to do the plug-in to my widescreen TV, and we're going to watch it.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Tomorrow, happyfilms.com. Baba, thank you very much. Tomorrow, to get your ticket right now. Thank you. Thank you, Baba, for always support. All right. Love you and respect, brother.
Love you too. Stay strong. Peace and blessings, brothers and sisters. It's our world. Take control of your world by taking control of the economics that undergirds our civilization. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings. That was our Baba James Smalls right here on King Simon Presents. That was a beautiful. People on Facebook, people on YouTube, please share this. Remember, for more information about tomorrow's world premiere on July the 18th, the world premiere at 7 p.m. Go to www.happyfilms.com. That's happyfilms.com. Get your tickets, front row tickets on any and all devices. Do a family affair because it is a family affair. Get your DVD and digital download after the premiere. You can't order it now. You got to have it. And let me mention some of the people that's going to be here. He said a few of them. Professor Dr. Leonard Jeffries, Dr. Salaj Ashby, Dr. Boyce Watkins, Dr. Julia Mavo, Dr. Wade Noble, Dr. Raketi Amen is going to be it. Baba Heru Ankh Ra Samaj Sepata, Dr. Rosalind Jeffries, of course, Professor James Smalls, Dr. Georgina Fallu, Sri Master Gano Grills, Dr. Patricia Newton, Infundisha Jehutamas Ka and Heru, Dr. Jacqueline Bartarola, Batalora, Brother Jabari, Dr. Peter Lacovira, Brother Charles Barron, Dr. Hawas, Brother Asa Imhotep, one of the narrators, the great Lilith White. She is also Lilith White is one of the great narrators on the film, and she is the great narrator. Bruce Williams, Kenneth Kelly, Lord Jamal, Dr. Lawrence Berman, of course, Brother Sharif Malik, Abdul Malik, Brother Chester Higgins, Mandy Bowman, and Chief Owl. Of course, Adetuntu is going to be there also. It's a lot of people that's going to be on this Happy film release. Oh, man. I'm telling you, family. I'm telling you. Please go to happyfilms.com and get your front row. So if you got children, let them watch it. If you got grandparents, let them watch it. If you got teenagers, let them watch it. If even if you got people that's acting like knuckleheads, hey, have a party and let them watch it and wear your mask and whatever you got to do. And please watch the Happy. And you could watch it on any and all devices, no matter where you are and who you are. So once again, we want to thank Baba James Small. Man, I forgot to give him a round of applause before he left, but let's give him a round of applause anyway. Forgot to give him that round of applause before he left. Usually that's what I do for my audience. Give them that well-deserved round of applause. And because he deserves it, Baba, in just one short hour, Baba just summed it up and broke it down, to the intricate level. You know what I'm saying? So enough respect to Baba James Smalls. Enough respect to Baba James Smalls and all that he does and all that everybody that's going to be a part of this great documentary. And of course, big up to the cast. Let me go to the cast page because I'm on the page right now. Let me go to the cast page. Their team. Very important, Brother Taki Grant, who is the executive producer and director. And then, of course, Sister Felicia Harden, Detroit born, New York made. She is one of the producers also and a part of the team. Brother Robert W. Gay, a.k.a. Seed. He is the founder and president of Tahuti Films, LLC. And, of course, got to big up Brother Rock and all the great ones that's been promoting all of this and all the staff that's part of Elena, all of them. So big up to all of y'all. Enough respect to everybody that tuned in. Please share, and like this video. Let me say it again. Please share and like this video because the more you share, sharing is caring. And please subscribe to King Simon Presents on YouTube. We strive to bring positive content so people can get that knowledge, wisdom, and overstanding and understanding so they can be guided. Of course, I have a Patreon page. If you want to do the Patreon page, that's www.patreon.com/King Simon Production and KingSimonProductions.wordpress.com. I put a lot of content on my website. That's a blog slash website. And then, of course, my website that's under construction. That's numbersAreSimple.com. Yeah, I stay focused, family. I stay focused on what I have to do and how I have to do things. And if you want to show me some monetary love, please, family, here it is. Want to show me some monetary? Befriend me on Facebook and IG at King Simon Productions or King Simon, or Twitter at King Simon Prod, that's King Simon, Prod. Cash App, and show some Cash App love at $ King Simon 3158. And my PayPal is paypal.me/King Simon. That's paypal.me/King Simon, or paypal.me/the Numerovator, because that's what I do, motivate you with your numbers. Remember, if you want to pre-order my book via paypal.me/the Numerovator. It's 40/40, and 40/40 includes shipping and handling, and of course a signature by yours truly, Numerovation for mental stability. And please include your full name and mailing address in the PayPal notes section, so when I do mail out those books, it's yours and it's ready to go. All right, and I have a signature on it. But also, family, just want to remind everybody, if I need my audience to choose my cover. That's right, the book cover for the new book called Numerovation for Mental Stability. And here's what the covers look like. This is cover number 1. This is cover number 2. And this is cover number 3. Okay, those are the 3 covers. This is number 3. This is number 2. And this is number 1. So, hey, like I said, if you can help out by emailing at Numerovation with King Simon at Gmail, please do so. That's Numerovation with King Simon at Gmail. Please do so. And this coming Saturday, this coming Sunday, we on July the 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6 p.m. Pacific Time, we have Professor Zahalia Anderson, Women in Martial Arts. She trained under Dr. Moses Powell and various other systems, but her father, the great Ernest, he's part of the Sanukas Rule family, and Dr. Moses Powell, of course, Sanukas Rule with GM Anthony Muhammad, Professor Bill, and all the great ones like Soke Littlejohn and all that is a Sanukas family, Soke Hassan Khalik and all the great ones. So this coming Saturday, we're going to talk about the importance of women being in martial arts, especially in this day and time, whether you're doing soft or hard martial arts. It's all one and the same if you know how to apply it correctly. All right, improvised weapons, all of that. You can use your scarf or your glasses to be a weapon. You never know. Your hat could be a weapon. My hat could be thrown in front of your face and my fist follows it. That's how we used to train. Yo, my hat, because what happened, you're diverting people. So when you pick up the hat and throw a hat at somebody's face, right behind the hat comes the fist. Boom! And that's how we used to do the improvised fighting and all that kind of stuff. Even catching people's fists with your hats. Man, you could take a hat and just catch the fist, bap, and lock them. Boom, all kinds of stuff we used to do back in the day. Thanks for people like Dr. Moses Powell, of course, GM Anthony Muhammad, Soke Littlejohn, and I can't forget Master Ronald Duncan, the late great Master Duncan, the senior. He used to teach us improvised weapons and using various things like rolling newspapers and all that kind of stuff. Stuff that you've seen on the Jason Bourne movies and all that. Master Duncan taught that back in the 80s and all of that back in the 70s. That whole, because especially with ninjutsu, and I studied with him and one of his other students, and they definitely trained on how to make everything a weapon and be adaptable and versatile. And so did Sanukas too, because it was all about the streets and working the street. That's why Dr. Powell wasn't into too much competition. He wanted you to learn how to fight and protect yourself on the streets and get home. Get home. That's what it's all about. So we're going to have her on, and then we have Malika Ali, who's going to bring in the health. Sister Malika Ali is going to bring in the health, and she's going to talk about building your immunity, building the immune system. We don't know what this system society is going to bring and what's coming up next. So we need to keep our immunity strong and ready just in case of the emergency. So, boom, get into some art. Right now they're teaching classes on Zoom and all that. So please make sure you do that. All right, so before we get out of here, let's big up some of the sponsors that's doing what we got to do. Don't forget, Dr. Valentine has his big webinar coming up this coming Saturday, Sunday, July the 19th. Is an all-day thing. But if you can't get on because it's sold out or they had some computer glitch, if you didn't see the Phil Valentine lecture or interview I had early this week on Wednesday, please go to my King Simon Presents and see that video. It's still up. Everything is cool. And remember, the next webinar, if you want to log in and find out more about the next webinar, please go to uksnow.org. That's uksnow.org and join the mailing list, and also contact him for consultation, products, whatever. 1-800-847-1291. That's 1-800-847-1291. That's the Paradigm Shift 2030. He's giving us 10 years, and believe me, Phil has been on point with with some of his predictions. I'm telling you, over the years, we know how Baba gets down. Most of us out there know how the Baba get down. So enough respect to him. Those ladies out there, if you are looking for a natural gynecologist, this is a natural gynecologist product. This is her products. You can link up with her at pedalwise.com. And guess what? You can save 10%. You can save 10% with the coupon code KING 2020. That's my coupon code. All you have to do is put that coupon code KING 2020 at pedalwise.com. And guess what? You will save 10% with all your orders. And after you order, please tag them at Kings at Pedalwise or hashtag them at Pedalwise on all social media networks. So show them that love and respect because they're doing a wonderful job at Pedalwise. So big up to Tito, big up to McCabe, and big up to Chewy the dog. That's their dog. Big up to Chewy the dog. Chewy's an interesting Gemini dog. Very interesting Gemini dog. Also, those who want to get into real estate, those who want to find out about real estate, this sister is off the hook when consulting and breaking it down on what's going on in New York, how to build your credit and all that. Contact Janelle Lewis at 347-866-1153. That's 347-866-1153. Give her a call. She's in Brooklyn, New York, of course, but she can also connect you to Airbnbs, getting your own apartment, getting your own condos, getting commercial space, getting your own house, whatever you want as far as real estate needs throughout the tri-state area. That's Connecticut, New Jersey, and New York. Janelle Lewis is the lady. 347-866-1153. And of course, I had a disclaimer up here. Oh yeah, like I said, I don't care if you're a baby with a business. I'm gonna put a disclaimer because I don't know what you're gonna say. But content disclaimer: the views, comments, and opinions expressed by guests, speakers, or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. I only put that up there to keep everything legal and right and exact on somebody's platform like YouTube. And I think everybody that has a YouTube channel out there need to Google up what disclaimers are and have a content disclaimer on your channel when you're saying certain things and all that, because especially if you're interviewing people, you should always, I'm from the radio and production land, so I understand content disclaimers. Also, if you want to do a numerovation session with me, consultation with me, please text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022 for the special advertisement rate. There is a special advertisement rate, and whatever I send you is that special advertisement rate, because some doctors and friends I know that are high up say I can charge $500 an hour, how good I am. But I said, no, I got to keep it reasonable for the family. And, if they can spend $100 on sneakers or $200 on sneakers or whatever, they can spend something for themselves, because it's all about you and learning how to apply your mathematics connected to your name and your birthday to give you guidance. Remember, numerology is applied mathematics. Learn how to apply your numbers and they will guide you. That's all it's for, guidance. It's not here to control you. It's here to guide you. All right. Also, if you want to get any of my books, go to Amazon and Kindle. Order them on Amazon and Kindle. That's numbers are simple, people are complicated. Introductory to numerology and my numerovation system before I actually call it numerovation. And also, numbers are simple. Our children's health is important. That's a book dealing with health and numbers and what to expect or what to look out for any possible ailments from 1 all the way to 31. It's in the book from the first day all the way to the 31st day. I even put the 0 in there because people have some zeros connected to them, and at their different cycles, there's 0 that shows up also, especially in challenge cycles and all that. But 0 is a significant number, a significant void, and a significant womb of the universe. So we acknowledge the 0. So let's not front. Also, this book is called No Promotion is Bad Promotion. All publicity is good publicity. If you want to learn to promote your business from a low level to a high level online or get sponsors or all that kind of stuff, guess what? King Simon teaches that right there in this motivational book called No Promotion is Bad Promotion. All publicity is good publicity. So make sure you get that book. And once again, if you want to order my book, please, my friend, the new book, new pre-order for the new book, Numerovation for Mental Stability. This particular book, I'm going to say, is dedicated to those that are suffering from any mental problems, any mental issues, and bringing forth the numbers, showing all the numbers in your birthday from January, from the 1st of the month all the way to the 31st of the month. I break down the numbers and their meaning and how to stay on a higher level with them and what to be aware of, even from what you're supposed to teach your children from young. If there is issues dealing with any type of mental health, because if your mind ain't right, your body ain't right. Simple as that. When number ones can suffer from number ones can suffer from mental health from a certain level by not being ambitious, and that can lead them to being stressful and going down the stressful road. Number twos can suffer from emotional and sensitive things that can lead them to also mental health issues because they went through certain sensitive things that didn't accomplish or didn't go through certain things. And number threes can suffer from things dealing with the nerves and what to understand and how that nerve or anxiety can lead you to something like to mental health problems. Number fours, 4, 7, 8, 5, and 3s are known as, in my studies, as known as the mental numbers, but more 5 and 3s are more dealing with nervous issues, and that nervous issue can lead to mental problems if they don't handle their nervous issues. But 4 and 7 are the primary numbers, and 8 comes in the third, but 4 and 7 are the primary numbers. I have tested it, I have observed it, I have checked out its repetitiveness of the numbers that keep on coming up under people hurting themselves or going through mental depression, and it never fails. It's either that 4, 7, 8, 5, or 3 that pops up, but predominantly that number 4 and that number 7, and especially even if you're, and it's not just people born under the 4 or 7, people like born on the 4th, the 13th, the 22nd, or the 31st of the month, and it's not just people born on the 7th or the 25th or the 16th of the month, but it's people that go through these cycles at different particular time, because the numbers run through your cycle and run through your life, through the day, through the month, through the year, or these are different cycles that constantly come up. So I wrote this book in particular so you can recognize it, and I kept it simple. About 155, 56 pages, depending on what the editor sends back to me after I got, but I definitely have like 155th page as far as completed, but it goes straight to the point, no elaborate breakdowns and stuff. It just goes straight to the point, because that's what some of y'all need. Y'all need a straight punch, not a roundhouse punch. Y'all need a straight punch, like Wing Chun. You need a straight punch. You don't need nothing that's going to go around where you can catch it. You need something that goes direct, and being that I'm a number 1 born on the 1st, I'm about that straight. I'm about whoop. I'm right there with you. You know what I'm saying? So you need a straight punch. You know what I'm saying? So Numerovation for Mental Stability is like a straight punch numerology book that's breaking down how to stay motivated with your numbers, especially if you're going through mental problems or mental situations and all that. I even break down America and its mental stuff, that is the whole frequency of America, 1776, that whole thing, July 4th, 1776, all mental numbers, crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's only $40. That's the price, and it includes shipping and handling. And please, via PayPal, the Numerovator, like I said, go get that book. And let me get ready to close out, family. Before that, let me just say this. Please subscribe to King Simon Presents. Press that bell so you can be notified of what's going on. Please subscribe. And I'm going to close out with the Dr. Blair prayer as usual. We're going to close out with the Dr. Blair prayer and my song. We're going to play that after the prayer. And I want everybody to say this prayer with me, okay? Very important prayer by Dr. Delbert Blair. Very important prayer. And here it is. Here's that prayer. The prayer. Please, everybody take a deep breath. We're going to do it in 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to do this prayer in 3 because this prayer that Dr. Blair, he used to have his whole Meta Center 2. You can go to his website. His website still have his books and have all. It's the Meta Center 2.com. That's the Meta Center 2.com. And this prayer is a very important prayer that he shared with his students and all over the world. They used to say it every Tuesday at 12 noon. And it says, 1, 2, 3. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth and your love now. Let's say it again, one more time. I might say it 2 more times because 3 is a charm. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth and your love now. One more time. Let's take a deep breath. Exhale. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only your truth and your love now. The great, great Dr. Blair. You can see Dr. Blair right here in the picture right here. Not that picture, in this picture right here. Dr. Blair is right in the middle. You see Dr. Blair between Baba Heru and Phil Valentine. I'm on the side of Baba Heru. Lloyd Strayhorn is on the side. Supernova Slum and all of them is on this. Zoe Williams is in there. I see also KT Degree, Ankh Rising Sun. But look in the middle right of that picture. That's Dr. Delbert Blair. He transitioned some years ago. Great soul, great spirit, great Aquarian energy, born February 13th, 1933, same year as Dr. Sabi. So, you know, that prayer is a very important prayer. And like Dr. Blair always said, there is no truth until you know what he says. Hold on, I got it right here. What is it? Here it is. It's a prayer that this is something that he used to say. There is no truth until you decide what truth is. There is no truth until you decide what truth is. I'll say it again. There is no truth until you decide what truth is. All right? I love you. I respect you. I honor you. Thank all of those on Facebook. Thank all of those that came through YouTube. Thank all of you that shared this and liked this video. Thank you from all over my heart. I respect, love, and honor each and one of you. I'm going to end with my song called Black and White Story because it is our Black story and the white story, but we got to tell our story and control our narrative like Professor and Dr. James Smalls just said. We got to control our narratives and stop playing with this. So, in the immortal words of Marcus Mosiah and Dr. Khalid Muhammad, Marcus Mosiah will say, one love, one aim, one destiny. Up, you mighty nation, you could accomplish what you will. And Dr. Khalid would say, regardless of land, label, or language, there is but one God. Us, Ashe. And let me just leave with this martial arts creed that we used to say in the dojo. It says, this creed we used to say in the dojo was, as we walk in peace, and fear will not prevail. We are not the aggressors, but if we are attacked, we fight with those who fight with us. And if we must fight, we fight to the death. Man and woman of martial arts is a man and woman who thinks at all times that the man and woman of martial arts is a man and woman who thinks at all times, who pertains grace, peace, humility. And that was one of our dojo prayers that we said in the dojo. So big up to all those that's been in the system, those that have studied, those that have their own creed, their own martial arts creed. As we walk in peace. And fear will not prevail. Just remember that. Always, fear will not prevail. Fear is illusion, and everything you want is on the other side of fear. So stay focused. Stay ready. Be prepared. Don't be reactive. Be proactive. You know, I've taught disaster preparedness and all that. Don't be reactive. Be proactive. Get your stuff together. Just in case. But do it with a smile. Do it with love. Do it stealthy. Don't talk too much. Don't tell too much people, crazy people. Stay focused and you'll be all right. I love you. Us. I bow down and show love to your God energy within you as I respect the God energy with me because we are gods having a human experience. Family, take care of yourself. Be safe, be strong, stay focused, and stay out of trouble, please. Bye. Here it is. This is the song.
Black and white story in a me mind. We say we have to analyze it. May I go tell you a little something about white history. Say how they condemn us throughout slavery. They say we were black and very ugly. I lie them a telling of them history. Cause black is beautiful, the whole of them agree. They come out of the mountains and mix up with the here we go, my friends. In the black and white history, yeah. It's black, black, black. It's white, white, white. But let me tell the story. Yes, it's black, black, it's white, white. But let me tell the story. May I will tell you a little truth about the black histories. For the people who can hear and those who can see. We're the first to come up with anatomy. To analyze the truth about the way body. We're the first to come up with biology. To analyze the lives in the society. We're the first to come up with Egyptology. To construct the pyramid that you see. We're the first to come up with psychology. To analyze the minds in the vicinity. We're the first to come up with musicology. Steady correction, my friends, with the black and white history. Yeah, it's black, 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 it's white, white, white. But let me tell the story. Yes, it's black, 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 it's white, white, white. But let me tell the story. Black and white story in my mind. Oh yeah, say we have to analyze it.